I was thinking of recording this yesterday, but it didn't seem like the right timing at the time. So I guess it's happening today. Yesterday, I basically realized I was dissociating, and it has helped me understand something in that I have been dissociating for a long time. I didn't realize until recently, and I think it more or less helps explain a lot of the problems that I've been having and a lot of the misunderstandings between my father and other people, because he seemed to be purposely ignoring things at a semi-random interval. But I think what really happened was he was never encouraged to actually do anything about his mental health. So he never looked into or cared to learn about anything psychology related, because as a child he was told to suppress, and as such he was then able to suppress for almost his entire life. This makes him seem like a functional robot most of the time. However, if it is in fact just dissociation, that would explain a lot, because he would then have brief periods of non-dissociation, which would be very few and far between, but there would be windows into the elements that he doesn't normally express. More often than not, the people around him and the people around me react similarly in that they prefer the non-dissociative person, except for users who prefer the dissociated person, because guess what? That's a very useful thing. Having basically a living robot that will do whatever you say because it doesn't know what else to do is incredibly beneficial. It's also useful in situations where autonomous repetitive activity is useful. It's part of why I've been drawn to it for a majority of my life. Mindlessness in the middle of dissociation is what feels comfortable, but isn't what is productive. It's a way of fooling oneself into thinking that it's being productive. This has been something that I've realized after many years of doing this, is that more often than not, I'm attempting to feign productivity. I'm trying to continually grind the gears, or push things into motion that don't actually do anything, and so wasting a lot of time and energy on resources that could be actually used somewhere. So this feeling of wanting to be more is actually quite simple to remedy, right? It's just stop doing useless things. So it's understanding and recognizing the pattern of desire to push forward pointlessly in an attempt to simulate productivity, and stepping back from that, and then realizing that there are then ways to be productive without it. And it's not, once I am able to be slightly actually productive instead of the simulated productivity, or the rules that don't actually apply to anything, everything goes so much easier and smoother, and it feels like things are actually lining up properly. But those had been few and far between, and I didn't seem to be able to figure out a correlation as to when, why, where, how, and why. But now I've realized that that is what I've always been doing, is having to take the time to figure out when the dissociation happens and how to react to it. And the answer in that situation is being in the moment. Now, more often than not, when I'm dissociating, I prefer to have my mind be anywhere but where I am, because it's more entertaining, and it makes it easier to feel productive, because, hey, multitasking, right? The problem is this ends up creating an anxiety-like feeling where your mind and body are in basically two separate places, and the need for the desire to feel productive ends up exacerbating the situation. You end up trying to be more and more and more, and then you create anxiety because nothing is actually adding up to what it should be. You're in neither place and getting both of the penalties and none of the benefits, more often than not, psychologically speaking. So it's been eye-opening to see this truth before me, and be able to examine it firsthand. It's like, for my entire life I've been trying to take notes because I was like, oh, surely there's something useful in here somewhere. But I was just writing whatever. But now that I'm realizing what my mind is doing, I can then write down, okay, here's where the pattern is, and then become more productive again. It's very useful. Let us hope. I'm on day 2 so far of this. I hope to be able to stay in this. I had been thinking that I could stay in something similar with the help of others, but this is something that I can sustain on my own, and therefore it should have infinite sustainability, which is phenomenal.